Guys, we have an urgent breaking news coming out. Tankers are getting hit again. I want to read this part really quick here. The Turkish Transport Ministry is reporting that the Gabian flagged oil tanker, the Variant, part of the Russian Shadow Fleet, was attacked by a series of uncrewed surface vessels for a second time this morning. And in southern Black Sea. So this happened in Black Sea. 20 crew members on board the vessel were evacuated Friday following the first strike, with the ship said to be actively burning and sinking off the coast of Turkey. So it got hit again. They're really trying to bring this thing down to the bottom of the ocean. Here's the video. Give me a second here, guys. That's a we're gonna get with this one. This is the article, but there is a video here. Give me a second. All right, so here's the video. Man. Ooh. Hopefully, I don't get hit hard by this platform. I try not to show too much video because I'm always getting hit for some reason. So, cranes strike the bare oil tankers in the Black Sea as delegation heads to U.S. for peace talk. Again, they got hit. All right, guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. And for those of you that want to support the channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also description box. Once again, thank you so much for your support. So it says here you have Cranes SBU Security Service confirms it struck 2 oil tankers in the Black Sea overnight using modernized Sea Baby naval drones. The tankers Variant and Carlos were hit near Turkey coast. Now, Crane believes they were covertly transporting sanctioned Russian oil. Zelensky announced a major defense overhaul, saying that the course of hostility has shown what must become the renewed priorities. Defense Minister Denis will prepare a proposal to update Crane's fundamental defense documents, including the National Defense Plan. Crane also allocated approximately $105 million for combat brigade drone purchases and an additional $195 million for financing the drone line. Now it says here, meanwhile, a Ukrainian delegation led by the Rustem Umerov is heading to the U.S. for peace talks ahead of White House envoy Steve Witkoff's expected visit to Moscow next week. The delegation change comes after Zelensky Chief of Staff Andrei resigned Friday amid a corruption scandal. Anti-corruption investigators raided his home and offices. Kiev was hit with a major of the bear strike overnight. Crane's foreign minister said, while everyone is discussing peace plans, the bear continued its war plan to take out and destroy. Wow. All right, so we're going to see what's going on with this new strike that's happening. One of Russia's largest terminals halted operation on Saturday following a strike by sea drones hours before Ukrainian negotiators were headed to the United States for talks on ending the war. When spoken of peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall follow. We are seeing that right now. So the Caspian Pipeline Consortium, a group that includes U.S. oil major Chevron and ExxonMobil, and which owns the terminal called the strike I'm gonna highlight this. So they call it a T attack. This could kill the peace deal. This would literally just squash it. Now it says here, Ukraine, which did not comment on the incident, has sought to punch back against its neighbor as the war grinds through the fourth year. This February 2026 will be 4 years. The strike came as Moscow forces fired a deadly storm of drones and missiles at Ukraine, taking 3 and damaging buildings across Kiev, according to Ukrainian officials. My condolences and prayers goes out to the families and friends that lost their loved ones. Now, I'm not a big supporter of this war. Again, us Christians, we are commanded to go out and pray for many people, pray for the world, pray for peace. And again, I'm not choosing any sides. I'm not considered a cheerleader. But as brothers and sisters in Christ, we have to pray for Russia, Ukraine, and all these countries. There are Christians everywhere. And so we need to pray for these leaders. Every single one, Putin, Trump, again, Zelensky, and all these other countries. And we need to pray for them. And that, peace comes to them, to their heart. So that way they could come in a certain agreement to end this war. It's going on too long. As a result of a targeted T-strike by unmanned boats at 4:06 a.m. Moscow time, single mooring point 2 sustained significant damage, the CPC said in a statement on Telegram. Now, further operation of SMP-2 is not possible. Loadings at the terminal will be carried out in accordance with established rules once the drone's threats are lifted. The CPC pipeline, which begins in Kazakhstan and ends at the terminal, is a major conduit for Kazakh oil and one of the world's largest by volume, handling around 1% of global supplies. The United States has put forward a plan to end the conflict that is seeking to finalize with Moscow and Kiev's approval. Ukrainian leader Zelensky said on Saturday that a team was on the way to the U.S. to review the plan, but the talks came at a difficult moment for him and his administration. Now, the bear has been advancing on the front line for over a year, while Zelensky's gov has faced pressure from a blockbuster corruption probe that on Friday forced him to sack his powerful chief of staff. All right. So you guys already know this happened yesterday, but it seems like there was another hit today. And these ships, tankers, are considered ship. It seems like it's gonna go down the Black Sea. It says here, AFP journalist in Kiev reported a night of intense explosions that kept many in the capital awake. In the morning, reporters saw burned-out cars and apartment buildings charred from fire. The strike left more than 600,000 consumers nationwide without power, 500,000 of whom were in Kiev, the energy ministry said. Russia, which denies targeting innocents, says it struck energy infrastructure powering Ukraine's military-industrial complex. Ukraine says the bear Russia struck are a cynical ploy to wear down its civilian population. Now it says here the main targets of the strike were energy infrastructure and civilian facilities, with extensive damage and fires in a residential building, Zelensky said on X. So we currently have reports of dozens injured and 3 have been taken out. I believe, again, this is just my point of view. I know a lot of people won't agree with me, but Zelensky, he needs to give the spotlight to someone else. And the reason why, listen to me, the reason why his term was up May 2023. He keeps extending martial law, which keep him in power. I just feel like doing that is just trying to, avoid from being removed from the spotlight. Again, we see a lot of wars going on in the Middle East, but you don't see those, declaring martial law. What's going on in Ukraine is not catastrophic stuff. It's not. It's not catastrophic. Millions of people are not being wiped out. Again, we're not seeing that. We're not. Again, it's just military stuff that's being hit, infrastructure, facilities, like warehouses and stuff like that. But you're not hearing millions of innocents have been taken. You're not hearing that. Now, Zelensky, again, I believe that he's just a puppet for the Europeans. But again, as long as he's in the spotlight, this war will never end. It's just very sad. It is. It's very sad. I think new faces will actually make this negotiation a lot better and possibly end this war quicker. Galina, a Ukrainian media worker, told AFP in Kiev that the explosion sent debris flying into her home. There was a piece of debris next to the bed, which hit the bed and got struck. Another resident, 43 years old, Natalia, said that the strike set her and her husband's cars on fire. We heard a very loud explosion. My husband said, maybe it hit our car. When I went outside, I saw it burning. Now, Ukraine targets shadow fleet. It says here, a Ukrainian source, meanwhile, claimed responsibility for the strike on 2 oil tankers in the Black Sea, allegedly covertly transporting sanctioned Russian oil. The 2 ships, the Variant and Karos, were rocked by explosion of Turkey's coast late Friday, according to the Turkish Transport Ministry. One of the 2 was struck again early Saturday. Modernized Sea Baby naval drones successfully targeted the vessels. Now, the source shared a video that purported to show sea drones gliding towards the 2 ships before sparking explosion, and that's the video I played at the very beginning of this video. The Bear launched its full-scale offensive on Ukraine in February 2022. Kiev and its European allies say the war, the largest and deadliest in European soil since WW2, is an unprovoked and illegal land grab that has resulted in a tidal wave of violence and destruction. Tens of thousands of civilians and military personnel have been out since the war began, while millions of Ukrainians have been forced to leave their homes. The European is talking too much. Maybe the European need to give back those diamonds and gold to Africa. Let Africa be rich. But European, they kind of control most of the continent in Africa. Let them be free. Just like you want Ukraine to be free, let those in the continent Africa be free. Don't touch their gold. I mean, out of all the continent, I think Africa is like the most valuable one, if I'm not mistaken. They have everything there. All right, so this is all the information that's coming out right now, guys. Again, what are your thoughts on this? Leave comments down below. Yeah, so this is all of it here. Very important updates when it comes to the 2 tankers, and I did post a video yesterday about it, but again, these are some more updates. And it seems like those tankers are getting hit again. They're really trying to bring down those tankers to the bottom of the Black Sea. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and share. Till next time later. Peace.